Hey Magic fans, it's Paul from Orlando Magic UK here with your Penny for Your Thoughts game preview. Uh, Tonight, the Orlando Magic are back home in the Amway Centre for preseason game number 3. The Orlando Magic will take on the New Orleans Pelicans again. The UK tip time is midnight, so that's 7 p.m. local for our friends in Orlando. To watch the game, you will need an active League Pass, NBA League Pass subscription. Let's be honest, Magic pre-season could hardly be going any better. Solid performances, no injury concerns, and beyond the normal day-to-day niggles, it's just been plain sailing. It's been really good, and we're winning 2-0. Let's be looking on the positives here. Orlando opened pre-season with the road win over tonight's opponents, the Pelicans, by 122 to 105 in New Orleans. This was followed up by the 105 road win over the Cleveland Cavaliers, and at one point over the Cavs we led by as many as 19 points going midway through the fourth quarter. Let's talk about that Cavs game quickly because it was a strong performance, particularly the first half, where each team played the strongest rotations and they went toe to toe. It just didn't have the feeling of a pre-season game to me. Starting five we saw again was Markelle Fultz, Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner, Paolo Banchero and Wendell Carter Jr. From the bench, the backup rotation that we saw during the first half was Anthony Black, Cole Anthony. We also saw Mo Wagner, Jonathan Isaac and making his Magic debut, Joe Ingles. As expected, everyone got minutes except Gary Harris, who had a rest period, and the same two niggles that we'd had before, Caleb Houston and Kevon Harris, saw them both out as well. We saw some amazing chemistry again from this team. You've just got to marvel at how well Paolo and Franz can understand each other's game. It's just magnificent to see. Franz, he had 19 minutes played, scored 18 points on 6 of 7 overall shooting and going 3-on-3 from the 3-point line. Mo Wagner, he posted 14 and Markelle Fultz 13. Paolo Banchero, he wasn't free scoring, let's be honest, he got 6 points, but he did dish out a team high 6 assists, which was great to see. He played the highest minutes again, just shy of 20 minutes, and all the starters posted positive numbers on the plus minus. So again, fantastic. We also see, as far as talking about the chemistry, this growing understanding that Markelle Fultz and Jalen Suggs have for one another's games. They've really gelled well together as the starting partnership of the backcourt. But Anthony Black and Cole Anthony, they're showing great promise I know it's only 2 games, but they are showing great promise. So tonight's another opportunity for that to grow even further. Talking about Anthony Black, we'll do a quick rookie watch again. 4 points against the Cavs on 2 of 5 shooting. That's better than he was. He also had 4 rebounds, a steal and 0 turnovers. 0 turnovers, superb. We also saw some excellent defensive work. So please don't just look at the box score for how somebody's played. Judge them on their actual contributions on what you see in the game. Jet Howard, again, he put up 8 points. Better efficiency. It was 3 of 6 shooting this time. I do find myself watching him and being reminded of Terence Ross in the way he shoots and that bit of a streakiness that he has. So as to tonight, expect that the Magic will play the majority of the squad again. It's possible that we may see some of the minutes start to increase as we get closer to this season's start. The team will again be focusing on building their defensive efficiency and effort. That's how this team are focusing on developing and becoming a competitive team through the season. They've set themselves the target to be the top defensive team. To be a top defensive team, I should say, not the top. To go back to the game against the Cavs, the Magic's defence of the paint was swarming. Only 30 points of Cleveland's total came from here. To put that into context, the league average last season on points per game in the paint was 50. That shows you how hard this Magic team worked in that preseason game. Tonight, really be very surprised if we have much of a change in the starting lineup. Markel, Jalen, Franz, Paolo and Wendell, I would guess to be the starting lineup again. Talking about the New Orleans Pelicans, we've already talked about them in our last preview of the opening preseason game. We spoke of their season being somewhat dependent upon keeping Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram both fit and on the court. If they can do that, maybe they can be more of a force in the Western Conference, which they did top at the end of 2 months last season, after 2 months last season. Eventually finishing with a 42-40 record, 9th in the West, exiting to OKC in the 9-10 play-in game. However, so far in pre-season, they are 0-3, haven't won. We beat them, as we've already discussed. Since that time, they lost to the Houston Rockets. That was at home, 120-87. They got absolutely mullered there. And on the road in their last game at the Atlanta Hawks, 105-110. Zion Williamson was the only starter against Atlanta to reach double-digit scoring. He led the team with 16. It's not good about your starting unit when only Zion Williamson is scoring double digits, when you think of the players that they do have. In the opening preseason game, both teams we saw... In the opening preseason game, we saw New Orleans continuity. They are choosing to run it back. Jordan Hawkins, their draft pick from this year at number 14, he looked a strong option. He's a decent sized guard. So for tonight, kind of expecting to see their same starting lineup: CJ McCollum at point guard, Herb Jones at shooting guard, Brandon Ingram small forward, Zion Williamson power forward, and Jonas Valanciunas at the centre. That is the same team that they have played all 3 preseason games. So again, you'd be surprised if they change. On their injury front, Larry Nance Jr. and Jose Alvarado are both day to day, with the expectation of them being ready for opening night. Neither have featured yet in the preseason. Trey Murphy III is out after surgery. He's not going to be featuring. And we didn't get to see Cody Zeller in our opening game. So far, he hasn't featured in any of their preseason game either. So look, the winning momentum from pre-season so far is great, and we would love to see that continue. Hugely important that everybody comes through this fit and healthy. We're not going to be down if that winning streak doesn't continue, but genuinely, the excitement's building. There's some real anticipation and momentum going into the season. So for tonight, it is simple. The message is go Magic. If you've enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our podcast. Go Magic.